Hello, everybody. Welcome to All Villa, No Filler. Please like and subscribe. Subscribe if you love what you saw with Aston Villa beating Brentford away 2-1. You come into the month of December and you see the fixtures Manchester City, followed by Arsenal 3 days later. And then a week after that, you have to go to one of the toughest away days, a team that almost never loses at home in the shape of Brentford. A team where, to be honest, our track record is terrible. And what do? We go and win 2-1. I mean, something special is happening at Aston Villa right now, isn't it? You just can't shake the feeling that this is a special team. And, we went to Brentford today, and something I observed with it was that it was kind of like back in the day watching Barcelona playing in La Liga and going to an opposition team, and the team just decides we're going to cede possession and just try and hit them on the break. I cannot believe that Aston Villa have become a team that can go to somewhere like Brentford and they decide we're just going to kind of sit back more and try and hit them on the counter. All right, it makes sense. They're missing Mbumo. They were missing Ivan Toney, obviously Josh De Silva. A lot of quite a few players who, quite frankly, make a big difference to them. But still, Villa had to go to Brentford and get a result. And if you look at it, possession, 68% possession to 32 in Villa's favour. Villa 15 shots to 4 from Brentford, 5 on target. 19 fouls by Brentford to Villa's 6. So Brentford tried to rough us up. They tried to be physical, which is what they do, but also they do what they tend to do at home against sides who they think will be more ball dominant, and that is sit with 5 at the back. What did I say on this podcast this week? I might as well just say it because, no one else in this world is going to big you up, are they? So, look, I said, if you watch Brentford's highlights and what happens with them at home, with that 5 at the back and with the tight midfield 4 coming next close to them, it's really, really difficult to play through them. And if you go back and watch Thomas Frank's Monday Night Football appearance while he's doing an interview with Jamie Carragher, there's a 10-minute video where he literally says in that video, opposition teams can come along and they'll see that 5 and be like, oh, how do I break through this? And if you watch it, it is really difficult to break through. But a consistent pattern I've noticed with Brentford is that if you have a winger who plays on, let's say, a left-footed winger playing on the right or vice versa, right on the left, if they cut in onto their stronger foot and send a whip ball to the back post, Brentford seem to have a bit of an Achilles heel. Arsenal did it to them twice with 1 goal disallowed. The goal that the winner they got late on in the game was when Bukayo Saka cut in on his left to the back post, and there's Kai Havertz, Zinchenko, their fullback, and Gabriel Jesus all waiting to head home. In the first half, they had a very, very similar goal ruled out. Everton did it to them with a ball into the box, knocked down, Doucouré scores. Everton did it to them with a set piece with a corner, straight into the box, and there's Tarkowski to head home. West Ham did it to them. Benrahma on the left, cuts in on his right to the back post. Kudus gets in front of his man, hits the post, and he comes out to Jared Bowen, scores. Aston Villa today get the ball out to Leon Bailey, whose form this season is absolutely off the charts. Once again involved with the goal. He's on the right-hand side, cuts in onto his stronger left, whips it to the back post, and who's there? Alex Moreno. And then how did we get our second goal? A set-piece ball into the area, headed home by Ollie Watkins. It seems to be the only real, consistent way that Brentford concede with that back 5 with the 4 midfield really tight to them. And so the fact is, you're playing against one of the most difficult defences to play against away from home in the Premier League. And even though Villa weren't that impressive for most of this game, they still got the job done. How often have you seen it over the years when Man United would go away from home, look pretty average, yet somehow with a late surge in the game, they'd win 2-1 or they'd win 1-0 or they'd win 3-2 or something. And you'd always come away from it going, how the hell have Man United done that? And it's almost like because they just keep going and going and going, and they have the quality to get those goals and make those breakthroughs. And Aston Villa did effectively what Manchester United of old used to do. Didn't play that well for 60, 70 minutes, but sort of rose to the occasion when they needed to and got the goals that they needed because there's a belief in them. Just like at Bournemouth away a few weeks ago, looked like we were never going to get that second goal. And what happens? We whip it into the area, and Ollie Watkins heads home with an incredible header. You just keep going. And I actually thought, I looked online and saw some kind of negativity about Villa. I actually thought it was very impressive how ball dominant we were. Yes, it is a concern again that once we got close to the area, we would tend to have quite passive passing. We didn't really create a lot, though there were one or two occasions I thought we should have done better. In the first half, for instance, guess what happened? A winger cuts in onto their stronger foot. I think it might have been Pau Torres, whips it into the back post with his left foot. And who's there? Matty Cash gets in front of his man, and Cash should have done better. I don't think Cash was massively impressive again on the right. But I think that Leon Bailey, again, made a difference. Bear in mind as well, we're missing Douglas Luiz, who's such a crucial component of that midfield. We're also missing Tielemans, who's been in great form recently. It was just, I think to Villa to then take advantage of the fact that Ben Mee had gone off for the red card, I don't understand what the hell Ben Mee's issue is with Aston Villa players, why he seems to be trying to break our legs all the time. I can think of another challenge. He went in on Jack Grealish a couple of years ago, where he was playing for Burnley, slammed his foot onto the ground, and Jack Grealish ran into him. And it was such an aggressive motion that it could have ended a lot worse. He's clearly, an intelligent guy off the pitch or whatever, but on the pitch, well, there's a track record against Villa where he goes in rough. And, if Bailey didn't move his foot out of the way, who the hell knows what's happening to Bailey? Who the hell knows if he's ever able to play again? So thank God Bailey got away from that tackle. And then Villa took advantage of it. A great goal from Alex Moreno. I think, I love Moreno, but I think he looked a little bit rusty at times today. But he's obviously going to be rusty because he's barely played in about 10 months. And I think the same goes for Jacob Ramsey as well. I think Ramsey was slightly rusty. But again, coming back from injury, and that's, coming back in, and we still win at Brentford. And to see those two on the left-hand side forming that partnership again, give it time. Pau Torres working with them as well. And on top of that, to think our right-hand side is now so potent. Both sides of the pitch could very soon, the options we have coming up at the moment, it's magic. It is magic to be supporting Aston Villa. I look at the Premier League table. What do I see? We're in third place, joint with Liverpool. We're 4 points clear of Manchester City. We're 5 points clear of media darlings of Ange Ball FC. Jamie Redknapp telling us they should be top of the league. Don't know why. I mean, they lost 4 games, so why should they be top of the league? Newcastle, we're at 9 points clear of them. We're 10 points clear of Manchester United, down in 7th. We won off Arsenal. We should play Sheffield United on Friday. If we win it, make it 16 home games in a row that we've won, we're top of the league. 18 games played on Friday night. If we win, we're top of the league after 18 games at Christmas. Dare to dream. I think the other thing in this game was the randomness of the Royal Rumble that emerged. It was kind of like a group of wrestling villains all just decided they're all going to turn on each other and turn it into a drama fest. I mean, to be quite frank, I think sometimes with winning personalities, they have that side to them where they'll react or they'll cause a bit of trouble or they might employ the dark arts. To be quite frank, I'm open-minded sometimes about the dark arts. I think everyone else does it. People have been coming to Villa Park for years. It's all been far too polite. Gary Neville always says how much he loved coming to Aston Villa. It was also nice, but I don't want players to turn up to Villa Park and think it's going to be all nice and dandy. I don't really want us to turn into Newcastle, where we're a bit flat track bully and it's all physical and it's all just relying on momentum from fans and physically bullying us. But I want us to be a team that can do that, or a team that outplays you, that makes it hard, and is willing to do what it takes to win. Sometimes I'm not saying that I want us to see us going out and breaking people's legs, because that's the last thing I want. But what I will also say is that, you know, in the end, with what Morpay did, diving against Martinez, Martinez, again, he's a winning personality. So sometimes you've got to be quite open-minded about how a personality like that sometimes reacts. But, he's experienced enough that he just shouldn't have got involved. Just leave Morpay rolling around crying his eyes out. It's the 96th minute. We're 2-1 up. They're down to 10 men. Just leave it. And unfortunately, it's cascaded into an event where Boubacar Kamara's got a straight red card and is out for 3 games. It's a big loss, particularly for Man United away. It's a big loss for Sheffield and Burnley. I think if you look at Sheffield and Burnley at home, you're probably saying, all right, if I had to pick 2 home games that he misses, they would probably be quite high up. But Manchester United away is one that would be very low down on my list of games he misses. But look, it's going to be difficult without him, because he's such a key cog of the midfield. But I think we can cope. That said, whatever it was that Brentford fan behind the goal did to Ollie Watkins, said there's clearly something's gone on there. You don't see Ollie Watkins really react like that ever. Ollie Watkins is the kind of guy your kid brings home ahead of the prom, and he minds his P's and Q's, and he calls you sir and mister, and you're like, yeah, that's the son-in-law I want. Clearly something's happened there with an idiot fan behind the goal. But yeah, it got a little bit out of control, way too temperamental, but that is what it is. I mean, look, in the end, yes, we did have to wait for them to go down to 10 men to get our goals, but I think we did have chances before that to get goals. Didn't take them. And then when our chances came later in the game, we took them. We won. We've just beaten Brentford away. In the last 3 weeks, we've been to Tottenham and won. We've been to one of the most informed teams in the league in Bournemouth and got a late draw, a hard-fought draw. How did Man United get on against them? Lost 3-0 at Old Trafford. We've just played Manchester City, the best team in the world, and beat them. 3 days later, we've just beaten Arsenal, probably the best team in England right now on form. And then we've just gone to Brentford away on one of the hardest away days of the season. And yeah, they're not in great form at the moment. Definitely one of the toughest away days of the season. And we've just won. It's amazing. It is amazing. And I cannot wait to see where we go. The normal podcast will be on tomorrow. Going to be some recording ahead. Thank you, everybody. Sorry, it's a little bit later than normal. Just back from a family do. The Dean family, of John Dean fame. Good to see all my uncles and aunts. Shout out to Liam and Connell. Liam was telling me I didn't give him a shout out last time, but I think I did. But there's one now anyway. Anyway, up the mighty Villa. Please like and subscribe. Can we win the league? Would you bet against us? Up the mighty Villa.